Hello everybody, finalKenpachi here. Welcome to another Rachel of Legends Champion Rebalance update. Platinum is not stopping us between the Green Forest teaser stuff, which is Green Forest coming next week. Stay tuned for that. We also getting Rebalance for the champion. I feel like recently they are doing Rebalance more often. I'm totally okay with that. Don't get me wrong. Today, Rebalance champion are going to be Gilsha and the Sir Nicholas. I believe their Rebalance update will become with the next patch, guys, which is I'm expecting that on the next week with the Green Forest big update also coming to the game. So let's start with the Gilsha first. After that, we can take a look at the Sir Nicholas. Gilsha actually was a little bit popular, guys, especially against local champion, but she was missing one thing, right? Let's say she got this one thing. Her A1 skill going to behave attack one enemy has 50% instead of the 30%, so increasing the percent of the place and freeze debuff by one turn. Also apply the debuff spread effect, taking all debuff from the target and placing them on the all enemies under freeze debuff. So previously she was doing one random debuff. Now she's taken all single debuff and place them on the everybody on the enemy team. That's actually pretty strong. Her A2 skill attack all enemies, still all buff from all enemies, then place a weaken debuff on them by 2 turns. This skill going to be with 3 turn cooldown. Previously she was still in one random buff, guys, okay? She was still in one random buff. Rest of the part is the same, but now she's going to steal every single buff. Her A3 skill, place a block debuff buff on all allies by 2 turns. This part is the same. Also has 75% chance of placing a freeze debuff on all enemies by 1 turn. Fill the turn meter of the all allies by 15%. Fill the turn meter of each ally by an extra 5% for each freeze debuff placed by this skill. So previously, let me take a look at the previous. I don't have this lady actually. I need to remember. Place a block debuff again, same. Also 60%. So they increase the percent from the 60 to 75%. I believe it's going to be 100% chance. Let me check her skill real quickly in the game. She's from Secret Order. That's correct, guys. There is a 10% increase, 20% increase actually. So it's going to be 95% chance then. I don't know, maybe they are going to do something there because this looks weird. But at the same time, fill the champion turn meter by 15% before. So now she's also going to fill everybody turn meter. Instead of being selfish, she's going to be team player now. And the initial extra turn meter fill, that's actually looking pretty strong. And her passive skill, getting a buff as well. This champion skill cannot be put on the cooldown. It's the same. She can be very strong champion against the local team already, guys. But whenever an enemy tries to put either this champion skill or the ally skill on the cooldown, place a freeze debuff on that enemy. The freeze debuff cannot be blocked or the resisted. So they cannot be stopped getting freeze debuff, okay? Plus you also don't need the accuracy for this part. Also 50% chance of the denying the cooldown increase effect. So far it's exactly the same. Now we are getting the difference. That chance increased 25% for each enemy under freeze debuff will not deny cooldown increasing effect from the bosses. Okay, bosses still going to be work against her, so keep that on your mind. Whenever an enemy try to put either this champion skills or ally skills on the cooldown, activate insta turn effect on this champion. Occurs once per turn. This part is actually extremely strong. You guys maybe know me, like I'm huge fan of the insta turn abilities, and this is actually sick. So she can basically get a turn there. She can either attack an enemy that's still there buff. She can either like try to block debuff your team. That can be also, I don't know, can be good. At the same time, the skill has a chance of the freeze debuff on the enemies. Obviously, like if the enemy's under like a block debuff buff, I'm talking about her A3 skill. Block debuff still going to be, blocked to this freeze attempt there. Like it cannot be blocked only for apply for her A1 skill. And actually she's looking very strong. I don't know you guys been playing with the Gilsha before, but let me know your thoughts about her. If I have her, I will definitely build her, especially against the lockout meta, guys. Like there is a lot of them currently in the arena. One of them was the anniversary fusion, which is Fabian, so pretty much everybody got that champion. I actually really like this buff on the Gilsha so far, but the real thing is coming next. Sir Nicholas, let's take a look. I remember the last year when they did guarantee event, Titan event, I believe it was Sir Nicholas during the Christmas, last year Christmas, guys. So pretty much on these times. We asked them a question, hey, like, okay, you guys doing the Sir Nicholas guarantee is very cool, but do you guys have a plan to buff him? Because he's not really Void legendary champion. And they said, no, guys, there is no plan to buff for the Sir Nicholas anytime soon. 1 year has been passed and the Polarium is just announced the buff for the Sir Nicholas. So let's see the amount of the effort resources we spent last year trying to get the Sir Nicholas, actually got him from that event, is going to be worth today. His A1 skill, attack one enemy, has 65% chance instead of the 50. Placing freeze debuff for 1 turn. This debuff cannot be resisted. Okay. If the Lady Noel, which is the last year Christmas fusion, if the Lady Noel is on the same team, the chances increases to 100% and the debuff cannot be blocked or the resisted. So if the Noel in the same team, enemy has a block debuff, doesn't matter, guys. Whenever you use your A1 skill, it's guaranteed freeze debuff on the enemy single target enemy champion. That's actually quite a strong. Like this is actually very, very strong. Like special, like think like Heart Faction War. Your A1 skill has a guarantee freeze, which is amazing. He's also void, so cannot be like weak attack. That's a good. His A2 skill, attack all enemies, will ignore 30% of the target defense if the Lady Noel on the same team. So you guys kinda need the Lady Noel there. Place a strength debuff, strength buff, shield buff on the all allies by 2 turn. The value of the shield is equivalent to 30% of the damage inflicted. Not enough, they also increase his multiplier. I believe like they did that. If the people doesn't have a Noel, you know, they can also get some benefit. That's a great, guys. Like we was actually keep complaining about the Sir Nicholas about the one thing he's hitting like wet noodle. And now he's getting 30% ignore defense. Obviously, this part only going to be applied if the Lady Noel is on the same team, which is they can be actually very solid together in the arena as well. Now after the buff, they are going to be even more strong. But at the same time, he was casting only shield buff equal to damage dealt, which is he's going to deal more damage now. So his shield, I assuming, going to be more thick. But at the same time, he's going to give you strength buff. Strength is the one of the best defensive buff you can receive. Best one is the elite protection, then the strength and increased defense, guys. So that's definitely W. Like this is good. One thing is I don't like it. This skill is 4 turn cooldown. I don't know, can we reduce it? It's actually 3 turn cooldown, guys, after the book. 3 turn cooldown. Keep that on your mind. And his A3 skill. Place an unkillable buff and the continuous seal buff on the all allies by 2 turn. This part is exactly the same. Also place a counterattack buff on this champion by 2 turn. And when he's going to counterattack, he's going to use like, especially if the Lady Noel on the same team. Boom, freeze, you know, keep that on your mind. If the Lady Noel, another Noel condition, is on the same team, also place a taunt buff on this champion by 2 turn. This is actually quite strong. So basically, you are going to cast actually a little bit weird too. Okay, so kind of weird. Unkillable and the continuous. So he's gonna place AoE unkillable and the continuous seal buff. And also remember like Noel A2 skill, if you use that on the Sir Nicholas, he's automatically going to cast that ability, guys. So especially if the enemy team has the single target DPS champion or whatever, because he's gonna get a taunt buff on himself now after the buff, we are definitely going to force the enemy to attack Sir Nicholas, and because he's going to have a counter-attack buff, he's going to counter-attack them with the A1 skill, and especially if the Lady Noel on the same team as well, guaranteed cannot be resist or the blocked freeze debuff, we are going to cast the enemy team. If the enemy is under Stone Skin, freeze not going to be applied, Stone Skin is still going to block that, but if the enemy team doesn't have a Stone Skin or the guard buff, which is we are getting soon from the Green Forest content, then that can be annoying. Yeah. Obviously, like there's a lot of champion ignore the unkillable or the block damage comp, but it's another, you know, I mean, every single team has a counter, which is good thing. Some teams has a hard counter. But so far, I'm happy about his buff. I actually book him. I didn't give him masteries. Maybe I can give it a try. Maybe I can put him on my wishlist now because he doesn't have a blessing. Maybe Plarium gonna do blessing event for the Sir Nicholas this year. That will be great, Plarium, if you watch it. And he's getting a passive skill, guys. Before he wasn't have a passive skill. That's good. Enemy ignore defense effect. Use it against allies under shield buff. Are decreased by 30%. Shield buff. So it doesn't mean anything about shield cast by that champion. It just say like shield buff. I curious like if we give like bolster set or the shield set to one of the or champion, is that going to be automatically activated? This is what I'm thinking. But there is still more. Enemy ignore defense effect. Use it against Lady Noel while she's under shield buff are decreased by the 60%. Wow. 60% damage reduction. Enemy ignore defense reduction actually. This is very good buff. Now like I was actually thinking to skip the Sir Nicholas last year. I'm like, yo man, Plarium announced they are not gonna buff him. I don't have a time for that. You know, God know when they are gonna buff it. I mean we still wait like 1 year to be honest, but to be honest, like I'm actually thinking to use Lady Noel and Sir Nicholas together now in the arena. I was already using Lady Noel in my arena. You guys probably know I have like high resist Lady Noel, a little bit accuracy, so she can help me to bring back my team. At the same time, try to attempt to freeze the enemy team. Loss of the wand on this day, so that freeze part doesn't really apply that much on these days. But I'm actually curious to see their performance together. Let me know what you guys thinking so far for the Gilsha and the Nicholas buff. I actually like both of them. Plarium recently start doing this champion rebalance more often. I'm totally fine with that. And I feel like we are getting more decent rebalance update as well. Not only like more common, but at the same time, they are take a look the champion. They are like analyzing them and they are making actual solid buff. I cannot wait to see his multiplier as well, especially for his A2 skill. And maybe we can even make him as a DPS for the Lady Noel comp. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. Catch you guys on the next time. Have a nice day. Bye bye.